All right, so nutritional composition of feeds. If you look at a feed tag, I just grabbed one. This is actually milk replacer for lambs, not even chicken related. But this part of the feed tag right here, it's all the same, okay? It doesn't matter what feed tag you look at, what species, what brand, it's all the same. Because by law, they are required to disclose the nutrition components and the ingredients, okay? So when you're looking at a feed tag, or formulating your own ration if you want to do that. I've done that in the past. Like, it's kind of fun. It's a challenge, but it's fun. It's a good brain workout. First thing you're going to see is fat, or protein, called crude protein. This is the general protein. Crude deals with how it's broken down, formulated, like it's very complicated and lab driven. A lot of them will have a not less than, so it's guaranteed to have a minimum of whatever protein. You're going to have your fat. It's called crude fat, crude fiber, calcium, min, and max. There's a range in here because it allows for fluctuation, basically. Phosphorus, it's going to have a minimum. So calcium and phosphorus you have to keep in balance, and they have to be balanced very well. Otherwise, they won't be absorbed. And you start to have issues. Even if you have enough calcium, if the phosphorus is too high or it's out of balance, they will actually inhibit the absorption of the other, and you will get a deficiency just because it's not being absorbed even though you're feeding enough. So it's important to make sure those two are in balance depending upon the species, time range, like where that actual balance is. Typically, it's a 2-to-1. Sodium, then you're going to get into some, they're called macro minerals. So these are the big, they're not necessarily big, but they require more of them. So your sodium, copper, selenium, and your more the vitamins and minerals, vitamin stuff. Like some of them will have vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, little things like that. Those are your big common, usually need a lot of. Then you have micro, which most rations aren't actually formulated for because you don't need as much for them. The only time you will actually probably see the micro amounts is if you're actually buying a mineral bag. You might see some of the micro. Underneath, you will also see all the ingredients. So this was up here, was the crude analysis. Then you have the ingredients that went into this. Here's another tip for looking at ingredients. So most of them will have, it's either called a locked formula or an unlocked formula. So, and most of them that you're going to find in a feed store are unlocked. What that means is they're going to use similar products. So you would see this if it said grain byproducts. That could be any grain byproducts, typically distillers, but it could also be soybean meal, depending upon what is priced at the particular time when they're mixing the ration. Otherwise, it'll have specifics as far as like corn, wheat, barley, soybean meal. It's going to be mealed, not just soybeans. Again, that goes to the heat processing. It breaks some of those anti-nutrients down. So yeah, that's your brief overview of nutrition label requirements.